The worst second half I've seen in 3 years, man. I just brought in all the bad luck. It went downhill for my entry.
Listen, the rhyme animal Chuck D is here. How do you feel, man? How do you feel about this one?
They just forgot how to play basketball in the second half. I mean, the team knows how to survive better than any team in the NBA. They don't know how to kill off a team yet. We haven't seen it. Maybe last year with Philly. Yeah, but, you know, you don't win a playoff game by thinking ahead. The fans, the team, everything was thinking, I mean, everybody got 1 foot in Indiana. 1 foot in Indiana. I'm like, yo, man, are you understanding that this is the world champions?
Right.
And they lost. A lot of times the criticism, you would know this, Alex, up in Boston, that there's a lot of criticism sometimes for the way that JT sometimes ISOs the ball outside the perimeter and everybody just watches him. I knew that ball was going to move around. I was surprised it was going to take to the second half. I mean, it was a myriad of errors, big stage. The stage only gets bigger. And whatever happened to Mikal Bridges, 12 to 15, skate across the mid? What happened tonight? And here's another thing. Because they're new at kind of playing with each other, somebody has to tell Mikal Bridges, don't throw a fancy pass to Mitchie. Because it's basically like they don't know each other like that, so somebody has to give him the 4-1-1 on that. Don't pass to Mitchie fancy. And I think once they get that going, I brought the bad luck in, man.
Yeah, absolutely, man. We got to get some of this ambient sound down. We got to get some of this down. Okay, there we go.
It's gonna hurt. It's gonna hurt looking at Dante and Randall anyway.
Yeah, as they're playing right now, and you hit the nail on the head in terms of this thing just being just an up and down with this team, and that's why I gave a lot of pause. And shout out to the Knicks chick and all the fans are jubilant, and we're going to the finals. We got all this possibility. Not if you don't kill your dinner. You cannot have these ups and downs and ups and downs. Every single game of this series, the Knicks have been down by 20. When are you going to have a full 48 minutes of solid basketball? If you don't do that, you're not winning any championships. It don't matter, even if you get past the Celtics. The Knicks have to start cleaning it up and doing it now. This is why I'm not happy about tonight. Everybody that left here, we had a great watch party here, and everybody said, don't worry, CP, we'll get him on Friday, we'll get him on Friday. We did that. We said that in the Pistons series. We can't keep going to that. Every game in this series, this team has found a way to be down by 20 points. You're looking at a prolific three-point team. You cannot continue to play with your food. And, JD, I'm sorry, man. I'm looking at the big two here and how they set the tone. Karl Anthony Towns with the foul trouble in the defense. Jalen Brunson ultimately with the foul trouble and lack of ball movement in the third quarter. They did not lead this team to a victory tonight. Your thoughts?
Jalen Brunson minus 18, Cat minus 20. They did not show up tonight. That's the bottom line. Karl Anthony Towns had a very frustrating game. He had an awful game. Might have had his worst. Awful. Might have had his worst game in the playoffs. Considering the moment tonight and that we needed him to be dominant, especially in the paint. And then Jalen Brunson, the captain, the leader. I think he iced out the offense tonight.
Third quarter.
I think he
iced out. We went to 2-minute offense in the third quarter.
I think he iced out the offense. I think the thinking of I'm going to bring this home. And we talked about how last game he was precise in picking his spots, understanding the moment, understanding the rhythm and the flow of the game, when he can go off and take over, and when he can be more of a floor general, floor connector. He wasn't that tonight. And picking up all those fouls in the third, was frustrating. And, you know, it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, you know, they have earned some grace because of, you know, we're here. They're up in the series. They're going home. But it's like what you said. It's bigger than that. It's a mindset thing. It's a mentality thing. And when you talk about championship, remember we talked last game. In this whole series, I've only seen them in the second half of last game where I could tell you without a shadow of a doubt this is championship caliber basketball. It's been the only moment in this whole series was the second half of Game 4. Just because they won those first 2 games in the way that it happened, I can't say that was championship caliber basketball. Very disappointing. Very disappointing.
It's disappointing, man.
Especially after the human element. You would think that I'm actually, you know, last night to me was actually a tougher game than tonight for the Knicks, last night for the Pacers, because they're up first to close out.
Right.
And these guys are on social media. Everybody's watching each other. So everybody's watching each other. Last night the Knicks were watching that Indiana game. And Indiana went, they didn't play with their food. And you would think from a natural human element, you're coming in tonight and you're a little bit more motivated because you know Indiana closed it out last night. They didn't play with their food. And to go out tonight with no Jayson Tatum, understanding that you had an advantage. And what's crazy about tonight, everything went backwards. They actually had a good first quarter.
They
weathered the storm.
And Tibbs said we won a good first 5 minutes. They had a great first 5 minutes, Al.
They had a great – for the first half, I was like, oh, wow, we're in this.
This is 7 threes in the first quarter.
This is crazy. And I was like, oh, I actually had confidence going to the second half, like, oh, we could pull this through. But then you just start to see everything unfold in the third quarter. It was a third quarter of a doom that just reared its ugly head. Like I said, 32-17. And I think part of the issue was that they came out with a spirited effort. And I'm talking about the Knicks in that first half. The second half, they let the emotions get to them too much.
Right out the gate.
Right out the gate. You had Brown and Hart.
Can I
and
right
right
there,
there, they took it personal.
Can I add to that? On my way in, I'm listening to CK. We was up by 7. That's where it began. When I got to the door, it was tied. And it seemed like CK was explaining, like, yo, man, the Knicks had just fallen asleep. And there's a couple of plays in there that I was hearing the play-by-play. And then all of a sudden I got to the door. It's like, well, we tied. We was up by 7.
Yeah.
That's where it started, at the end of the second quarter.
Let's get to some of the key stats of the night. Look, it was the three-pointers for me, man. I mean, Celtics shot 52% from the field. They shot 35. The Knicks shot 35% from the field, but Celtics shooting 44% from 3, shot 49 threes and made 22. Knicks shot 30 threes and made 12. So you had 36-66. The Knicks lost the three-point battle by 30 points. Free throws, hey, 80% from the stripe for the Knicks, 65 for the Celtics. Knicks lost the rebounding battle by 4, 44-40. Assists, obviously, with the Celtics hitting so many threes, they won the assist battle 27-17. Turnovers wasn't as terrible. You know, both teams low, 9 for the Celtics, 11 for the Knicks. Knicks giving up 12 points off of those turnovers. Celtics giving up 11 to the Knicks. Fast break points, just 4.
Not good enough.
Just 4.
Not good enough.
Just 4. And points in the paint, they lost points in the paint. 26 points in the paint. When the big boat, 26 points in the paint. And the Celtics had 36. Your thoughts, man?
The fast break points is not good enough. Every Celtic analyst that I brought on for the game preview, they've talked about Knicks have to force the Celtics to turn over the ball and get out in transition and get easy buckets. They didn't do that tonight. Not enough of it. You got to do that. And then points in the paint. I mean, I would expect more if Brunson was able to play, if Cat was in foul trouble. So I could say, yes, it kind of checks. It does check out because those two guys were in trouble tonight. But the big thing for me is the fast break points, man. It's got to be better than 4. It's got to be better than 4. You're not going to beat this Celtics team just strictly in the half court. They executed well in the half court. We struggle a bit, as we see, just because we only have one guy that can initiate. I know we have Bridges who has shown in games, especially this postseason, that he's more than capable of creating his own shot and somewhat doing a little bit of like distribution for his teammates. But it's really just Jalen Brunson. And so if you're going to have to rely on Jalen Brunson to do most of those things, it's going to be a little tough to work the half court consistently, since you already know who has to start with. And then if you're just going to be iso ball and freeze these guys out, there's not going to be a rhythm either.
I'm looking at their 27 assists. It's a high assist mark. We all know how, the Knicks record, they're basically unbeatable when they get to 30. And the Celtics got to 27 without Tatum, which signals to you with, the way that they're looking to play now, moving forward with all their shooters. And that led to the 49 attempts from threes. And that's 19 more threes than the Knicks. So now that you're looking into Game 6, those are the two areas that I'm looking at for the Celtics is their assists with moving the basketball and their three-point attempts versus us and how effective they're going to be from the Chattery stripe, from the three-point line.
AK on the Discord, getting on, meet your mic. AK, let's go.
Justin Fields about to be the truth, don't worry.
AK, how you feel?
Good. You boys can hear me?
Yeah, loud and clear, man. We good.
Wanted to check in with you boys, checking in from Australia, international gang. We blowing it up. We blowing it up. Everyone's out here seeing more Jalen Brunson jerseys. It's good to see.
Nice. Yo, Australia is Knicks Nation out there, man.
Holding it down, always. And, wanted to join the franchise, you know what I mean? Become
Yes.
a channel member in the playoffs, wanted to, because, I watch you guys genuinely more than anything. Literally, the Knicks this whole season has been, all this hype and everything. And, we get to the playoffs and it's the same issues, you know what I mean? The same issues that have been plaguing us this whole season. And, honestly, Mikal starts off hot. It's, free-flowing offense at the start, and then it just gets stagnant, and there's no variation. There's no movement. There's no movement, and it's okay, you've got Jalen Brunson and you've got Karl Anthony Towns. The whole reason of getting them was to mimic what, Jamal Murray and Jokic are doing. The whole pick and roll, high pick and roll, pick and fade. And then it's Cat can operate, he's a good passer, he can operate from top of the key from the three-point line, make the extra pass. There's so many options, but for a team that has so many options, Jeff Teague kind of alluded to it in his podcast. He was like, Tibbs just really lets you play. There's no plays, there's no set plays, there's no structure to it. It's kind of just make the right play, make the right read. And it's you kind of have to have some kind of a playbook to, fully utilize the team that we've got. And we're not doing that. And, the fact that they literally don't have Tatum anymore, that's the part that's just spinning me out. They don't have Tatum. They don't have, he scored 42 points and we literally beat them. We designed this team to have two overpowered wings, both defensively and can create a bit of offense to beat that team. That team doesn't have that anymore. We're the team that has that now.
Yeah.
We're full strength. There's literally no excuse. They don't have their best player, and we're still getting blown out by 30. So, and then you got to see Portnoy with that stupid look on his face when Brunson gets fouled out because he's sitting courtside like an idiot. It's we got to win these games. I'm 25 and I've literally already got a gray hair.
Man, you just getting started, bro. You just getting started, Anthony, man.
We're one win away, literally one win away.
He says he's 25.
He just started making the playoffs when he was, 19? What's the run, 4 out of 6,
His
5 out of 6?
earliest recollection was Carmelo days. Come on, Anthony, man.
He already knows what's to get a star on your. He knows what's to get a superstar during your teenage years, man.
Hang in there, bro. I feel you, man. Big up to Australia, though, man. They are heavy with Knicks Nation, heavy with KFTV. Shout out to Australia, man. Anthony, we appreciate you, bro.
Oh man, we had to deal with Maurice Taylor and Kelvin Cato.
He's a young whippersnapper. He's come on, man.
His prime is Melo and Shumpert and Jason Kidd and
all he had to do was
Martin and Marcus Camby coming back.
That's cool.
What was it, struggle for 7 years?
Yeah.
Try watching Eddie Curry.
That's his prime, bro.
He wasn't there when E City was running things. Was making an all-star campaign for half a season.
Stevie Fanchise.
Stevie Fanchise and Marbury, the new Rolls-Royce backcourt. Come on, Anthony, lock in, man. Lock in. These youngsters, man, they're entitled, just like they are.
And he's gotten Melo and Brunson.
Got Melo and Brunson.
You know how long it took for us to be like, yo, can we get a top 50, top 10 player?
Yeah, took 20 years.
Bro,
I
it's
was
in 2 of those.
It took us 20 years to get to Melo and Brunson.
I was hyped for just some competency with Raymond Felton and Amari Stoudemire.
Yeah.